and that constituted brand belief. And third is to analyze the effect of demographic and psychographic on the choice criteria. So it would lead to subjective norms. These are the key information areas which we asked to tourists. And a research methodology consisted of two stages. One is first is we conducted qualitative research, and after that we conducted a quantitative research. So we had a FGD of many group, 6 respondents were there, and we had 3 in-depth interviews. And the participants were tourists who were visiting Lucknow, and basically the places like Imambara and Residency. Apart from using the discussion guide, we also use some projective techniques to gain some insights. Like we used idea cards, and this is the image of the idea card use, and the important insights which we didn't get using discussion guide is when we ask people to associate various pictures with Lucknow. They associated Lucknow with the pen, and so we asked why did you associate this with pen. So they said that we associate Lucknow as a poetic city. So this is one of the very good insight, and this shows how the projective techniques can be useful over and above the discussion guide. Uh, this is the sample plan. We profile of the tourists was male and female and age group between 20 to 65 years, and tourists who visited Lucknow. So these are the some important insights which we got. Apart from that, we got the attributes on which they evaluate various destination sports. So these are the attributes. It is we got around 28 attributes, and these are research objective. And as we can see this, the hypothesis is not mentioned individually, so that every attribute can be connected with the each of the demographic and psychographic variables which we took into account. So that's why we can form the hypothesis, and the data analysis technique which we use for different hypotheses which are written there. We use basically cluster analysis, discriminant analysis, and factor analysis. So, and yeah, we also mapped the various tourist destination on a perceptual map using marketing engineering from Microsoft Excel. What did cluster analysis results say? We found 3 clusters, and the 3 clusters and variables which are important for these clusters, which are mentioned here. We actually run factor analysis on this 28 attributes, but we didn't find significant factors which are emerging out of this 28 attributes. So we left it there, and we basically concentrated on all the factors. So these are the 3 clusters we found. Now next step what we did is we used whether what demographic and psychographic profile of this cluster is. So we basically cross-check this cluster membership against the demographic profile. So we found that cluster membership and age, there is a significant relationship between this and others also, but not the cluster membership and gender. And based on the cross-checks, we found that the demographic profile of cluster 1 is those who are less than 25 and single people and with annual income of less than 5 lakh, and their occupation is student and basically services, and nationality Indian. So that's how we found the demographic profile of all the 3 clusters. And if you see, we also classified it on a basis of what students preferred, and business people preferred, and this 2 categories, married and single people. So these are the attributes which they rated as high, which they uh, preferred. Uh, we also classified it on the basis of income. Then we also we did cross tabulation between cluster membership and psychographics. So we used around 18 factors for psychographics, and we used factor analysis, and the 6 factor explained around 76% of the variance. And So these 6 factors are listed here, and then we use discriminant analysis to basically find that which cluster and which psychographic characteristics. So cluster 1 didn't emerge as having significant relationship with any of the 6 psychographic characteristics, but cluster 2 is basically if you see psychographic characteristic of cluster 2, they are rugged, enthusiastic and loving, while cluster 3 is rational, youthful and authoritative. So this is basically, and then we did the perceptual mapping using marketing engineering for Excel. For that we took tourist destination as Agra, other tourist destination Agra, Delhi, Goa, Mumbai and Lucknow. And if you see the positioning map, we also used very important thing is we use Lucknow perception. What do they perceive Lucknow, and what when they came to Lucknow, what they experienced. So Lucknow is basically giving us the perception of Lucknow, and Lucknow dash is giving us the experience of the Lucknow. So if you see, there is a large gap between the perception and experience. So that gap needs to be bridged, which is one of the recommendation of us. And if you see, others are basically well defined. And if you see, Lucknow is between good weather and food quality. Then we did joint space map also, like preference and mix of preference and perceptual map. So here two dimension explained around 77% of variance, and as can be seen that there exists two different groups. So one prefers cultural heritage, infrastructure and nightlife, which is based on how this dimension represents various variables. And Lucknow is positioned as a good weather, good food quality. But Agra, if we see, it's better in because if we see, the Agra is preferred by many people. So Agra is better placed there and positioned there. And market share analysis also suggests that Lucknow can capture a good deal of market share, which is untapped potential as of now. And these are the final perception and experience. So what we actually tried with this study is this is one of the ways on which you can build the studies, and you can strategically there are implications, like on the basis of this what you can do is you can find this kind of clusters, then you map this preferences against the strength of the Lucknow. So what we have and what we do not have, and what we can do. The other thing is, what we can do is, if we have strength in certain area, like cluster 1 prefers such attributes, and we have strength in this, Lucknow is having strength. So what we can do is, we can find that how we can communicate this attribute to this cluster members. So then it would be better and we would capture more market share. Thank you.